Hey, this is Todd Clark, Executive Director of TIVA, Television Internet Video Association, and we are picking up on a day of interviews here at the video show at the DC Convention Center. And for those of you who are asking, whatever happened to the GV Expo? Well, it became the video show. So this year we have a much more, I would call it, intimate and information-rich environment. The whole hall here is ringed with about 8 different panel, I don't know what to call them, panel cages, or they're not cages, but they're panel discussion places, all kinds of topics. So if you're here, regionally based, something for you if you're coming in from out of state, which who knows why you do that, but you would have all kinds of manufacturers when you talk to you and panels. But let's get right to this interview. We're talking to Tara Garwood, who is a longtime TIVite. I've never even used that expression. TVian.
TIVA.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound good either. Anyway, we're going to go with former TIVA person, and you have a interesting story, because I think you do represent this amalgamation of what Washington, D.C. is about, because you've been doing stuff public sector, private sector, now you're on your own. But let's go way back to a point where TIVA was being run by Tara, okay?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but but you were there during crucial times. But just give me an idea of who you are today, and then we'll talk about TIVA of yesterday. Yeah. So what are you doing now, and what's happening?
Okay, so what I'm doing now, I run Banner Day Films. That's my small business, and I specialize in marketing videos with heart.
Okay, nice. Okay.
And I work a lot with nonprofits and small businesses, especially ones with really great missions that are trying to do good in the world.
Yep. Small budgets, big hearts.
Small budgets, big hearts. And I also run an educational arm that I'm starting up now, that I'm starting up here today at the show.
So what time is your thing? So
my thing is at 2:15.
2:15.
It's phone videos without fear, and it's for people who, marketers, communicators, small business owners who need to do video for their marketing and, for social media, but who really don't have any training and just want their video to look a little better, a little lighting, little audio, a little bit of settings.
Little boost here and there.
We'll sort of touch on a few different topics.
So do you think we have, and I'm kind of going to jump right to this question, gotten over the hump in the road, which to me was the derisive kind of like they're making friggin' phone movies, and it's just a phone. But we're really at a point where it's going to be the phone, and it's going to be that technology, because why not, right? Because you can make the sound.
I mean, Soderbergh did a whole movie on a phone a few years back. I mean, it's getting there for sure, right? If Soderbergh is using them.
Exactly.
He's always, I think, very on the cutting edge, though.
But he did it, I think, just as a wild idea. Here you're saying it's a reliable and consistent and can be effective technology approach.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously affordable and approachable, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is much more approachable for people who aren't trained in video, right? Because you're used to playing with your phone, you're used to shooting a photo, you're used to shooting a video. I shoot videos of my dogs in the backyard all the time.
But you don't shoot them with the sun pointing at you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's little tips
with a window right behind me so that I look like a silhouette, right? So it's these kinds of tips we're going to get into.
Right. Okay, so we're going to jump back at the end of the conversation, but I want to get you to talk a little bit about what you've been doing since TIVA. But even at TIVA, you were part of our rules and regs and bylaws, and I remember board meeting after board meeting. It wasn't drudgery, but it was definitely nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty. So that was 5 years ago?
So back then I was the secretary, as you know, for 2 years. And I also decided that we needed to update our bylaws. I volunteered myself.
Oh my God. Which began meeting after meeting and discussion?
Yeah, so we had separate meetings.
You guys met
had
off-site?
A bylaws committee. We met off-site a lot over video chat. And we worked out really we looked at other bylaws, we looked at our bylaws, we sort of tightened them up, we made the language clearer, and we also put them on the website for transparency. So I'm pretty proud of that.
What is a simple click away right now was weeks of good, healthy discussions and presentations, and we would vote on stuff and
I would
things like
say
that.
months.
It was months.
It was a while.
But when people say what's changed with TIVA, that's one of the major milestones that I talk about, and you definitely spearheaded and made it happen. Because we wouldn't be where we are today. It's that back end stuff, and it's not even really back end. I don't know what to call it, but it's the spine.
That behind the scenes.
Right, it's behind the scenes, but it's essential. You have to do that kind of stuff. So you were with us for 2 years, and then you jumped ship and landed at the Secret Service or someplace.
Well, so that was actually when I left. So I had been for 7.5 years with the Food and Drug Administration.
Right.
And I was the sole video person in a training division of 90 people. And then I went to Secret Service, and that was a lot.
Little culture change.
It was really fascinating. I got to do some really cool things.
Yep.
But it was a lot of time, so that's when I left the board.
Yep. But yes, I'm asking you to tell your story because I think it is it's an interesting best practice of entrepreneurship. And I think in our industry, and I can claim it for DC because I live in DC, it's not so atypical. People will move into different arenas and stuff.
If you want to go way back, I started out as an actor before I went public sector doing video.
And your toes are still in that pool, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
And I started out as an actor. I majored in musical theater.
Wow.
So totally the other side of this.
Did the Secret Service know they had a musical theater?
They did.
They had it.
They thought it was just a treat. I'm sure when I was singing in the hallways.
No.
And then I did that. I ran a theater company for 3 years.
Wow.
But I wanted to play with the toys, I realized. So that's when I went into video, and at like 30. So you can really, anytime you can switch up.
Yep. So Secret Service, then you've done some other stuff since then, which led you to where you are today. But what was that missing?
While I was at Secret Service, I started realizing I just wanted to start my own company.
Yep.
And so that's when I started Banner Day Films.
Yep.
Just as I was leaving Secret Service and going to another government agency, I went into social media at the National Institute on Drug Abuse, which has actually been great for doing marketing videos. I feel like I've learned a lot more marketing side.
And knowing your audience and knowing your touch points,
your key messages, really focusing that message. And so I work with people on that whole thing because a lot of smaller nonprofits, especially in smaller businesses, they know they need a video and they don't really know what to say or do in it.
Right. It's knowing what you want to happen after people watch it. So I do a lot of stuff for nonprofits, and some of it is moment specific, meaning they have a gala, they want to inspire people to either give that night or to set the tone, establish a message and an aesthetic and energy things. But they also want to evergreen it so they can use it throughout the year. Right. So you may change a little bit of you may bookend it with a different opening and outro, but you still want to have that passionate, realistic, authentic storytelling.
Exactly. Yeah, storytelling. And that's why I say it's marketing videos with heart, right? Because I really want to get into the people who do this, the lives they touch.
Yep.
That's what kind of sets me on fire. So that's what I'm really trying to work with, is helping those people get their message out, tell their story, and help more people.
Yep. So that brings us to 2:15 today. So that particular workshop, are you going to introduce technology and approaches, or is it really more abstract, creative? It's a mix?
We'll actually be doing a demo.
Oh, good. Okay.
I will be showing my phone screen on a monitor so that people can see sort of what different lighting looks like.
Right.
We'll show them a little bit about, like, at least where they can go in settings on my phone.
Yeah. So do we need to have an iPhone or an Android? Are you partial to either? As long as it's smart, so to speak.
Personally, I have an Android. I shoot with an LG G7. That's my phone.
Yeah.
I used to shoot iPhone. I mean, obviously they shoot great. They're wonderful cameras.
Something about a mic input and a headphone input happened.
I went without that headphone jack for a while, and I'll tell you, I really missed it.
Yeah.
I'm really
shout
glad
out
to have a headphone jack back.
Right. So, but the idea is that anyone can take their phone and turn it into a communication. It is a communication device, but this is an advanced. It's a production studio, if you want to call it that.
I mean, it can be a simple production studio, and especially for social media. I mean, people are doing quick quick shots, quick turnarounds, shorter than a minute video. Sometimes you're just standing there and talking and you just want to get it out there. And so, why should you shoot that on a camera, take it to take it to someone to edit it for you, whatever.
So you're putting all of us out of business, all of us freelancers.
No, because I still think that people should have a really nice video for their website. And some nicer produced things that you can use on social media. But we are all doing stand-ups all the time.
And Instagram.
And why not make them look a little better?
Exactly. And application and exactly. So platforms sometimes can dictate both running time, literally, and that may dictate use of a technology. So Instagram, that you really are made for Instagram world because of the short duration, but they can be longer. I mean, Sondheim proved that. But I think there's probably room for all kinds of approaches as long as you're telling that authentic story in a way that gets people excited, inspired, all that kind of stuff.
And I hope to serve both sides, right? To be able to make professional videos for people who do need them, and then also to empower them to do a little bit of their own stuff until they can afford one, or even if they can afford one, do some
Stepping
of the smaller
stones or whatever.
themselves. So,
all right. So tell how do people find Banner Day?
BannerDayFilms.com and Tara at Banner Day Films.
Excellent. It's been great talking to you. Good luck with your workshop. Tune in, as they say, or stay tuned, or stay on board. We've got all kinds of interviews coming up throughout the day here at the video show, at the TIVA live streaming booth with the video show. Talk to you soon. Anyway, thanks.